Hi, it's Rona, and today I have a layout that was up on the Pretty Little Studio blog on the 28th, and this layout was created also for Scraplift Crafternoon because it is Jessica Walker's birthday, or was. I'm sorry, Jessica, that this is getting up so late. I have 5 photos that I want to use. I have a few scraps. I'm using the You Are My Sunshine collection from Pretty Little Studios. I didn't have the thumbnail to say that this is for Scraptember as well. The prompt is fussy cutting, and it's also going to be, put up on that hop list really late, but I did not have a computer, and I did the videos. I did the video prior to that, and the blog post was on there. I just couldn't upload my video. So I'm just going back in and kind of adding some of them that I had done, even though they're going to be a little late. So I'm starting with some packaging, which was from the Pretty Little Studio single-sided collection. One of the collections. I can't remember which one, but this is just the packaging, and I'm using the white on the back. I like to do that when I'm using some patterns that have white in them because obviously the white paper from the packaging is the same white paper that the collection is printed on, so you have the perfect white. Sometimes it doesn't really matter if you've got the perfect white, but sometimes I just like to do that. And why waste the packaging, right? I was afraid my lines were going to show through my blending because once you get the ink blended on there, you can't erase them. So I decided to go ahead and erase it after I got started there. I didn't want it to smear into the ink either. Sometimes the lead will kind of taint the color when you're using a faint color. So I'm adding a little bit, and I did a full line across. I ended up covering most of that up. However, what I covered it with is vellum, so it does still show. I just did a little bit of blending, and then I'm also going to do a few splatters, just kind of to give me that little soft glow that I like. And this does not take long at all to dry, so I don't really even wait. I just clean up my mess and get started on the layers. Now Jessica's, and I did fussy cut that banner. It's out of a piece of paper, the little scallop border there that you see. I showed it to you originally and it was not cut out, and I fussy cut that off camera. I'm pretty sure I fussy cut the tags off screen as well. I mean, you know how to use scissors, right? So I don't do anything special, that's for sure. So Jessica had used a tag, and it looked like a 3x4 card. I just went with 2 tags. She used a block where she pretty well enclosed all of her photos and decorations, so I did that as well. I chose to do mine larger because I have more photos, so mine goes all the way across the page. You can see that was a scrap, and I had done a couple of tag reinforcers out of it, but I only wanted a little bit showing, so I just covered up the part where the holes were. Trying to get everything straight, I cut my little scrap of vellum in half. I wanted to use this vellum. I love the floral paper, and there was florals in this collection as well, but I've already used it. So Addie's dress had, these bright, pretty florals, and so the vellum worked perfectly. So you can see here that was the packaging. I got it a little crooked. I was trying to get it straight, so I fussed around a little bit with trying to get that nice and straight. I may have even cut out and got it how I wanted it. Yeah, I did. So that is on and stuck down. I've got my tags and my 5 pictures, and I've got to decide how I want to get those out here. I am going to overlap a little bit. I'm going to have some of them going off the edge. I kind of like that look sometimes, to have them, going off the edges. So for my tags, I did put the pictures straight down. A lot of times I use fun foam, but for this layout, I didn't want to. I just put them straight on the page. And then the top of my tags are going to be lifted. So I did lift the top part of this photo to where it's not on the tag so that it would be even across the top and then it's flat on the bottom. And that worked out. I like to lift the top part of my tags, especially if I'm going to add some string to it, which I was going to, so I don't pull the backing off of that. It's just stuck down with the regular adhesive that's flat. And that part lets me move things around when I do use that. So I've got one large photo, one medium photo, and 3 little tiny photos. Actually, those were all printed on a 5x7, I think. Maybe I printed one extra with a different grouping because it seems like it prints 4 when I do that with my Epson PictureMate collage. So I'm pulling out a few bits and pieces. I didn't want real big embellishments. She didn't have real big clusters either. And so I'm just adding a few little bits. She is eating an apple, as you can see in 2 of the pictures, and she's got the biggest grin on her face. She had wanted to take an apple to her teacher on this first day. It's not preschool. It's actually kind of a little clinic that's run through the high school for the students who are taking child development. So it's kind of preschool, but she wanted to take this apple, and as she's driving along to school, she started eating it and ate the whole thing, which when her mom turned around and said, "Where's your apple for your teacher?" She's holding this up and smiling really big, and it was a funny little story for the first day of school, I thought. So I'm going through and adding in some little phrases. That one that I just put down says, "You are the apple of my eye." I'm going to use "Capture moments, tell stories." And up there at the top, I find a little orange one to go above her picture with her backpack. And that one says, "It's your time to shine." And I thought that was perfect because her brother goes to preschool and now she gets to go. So it's kind of fun. Let's see. I'm still trying to decide on my little bits that I'm adding in. I have some flowers, again, because her dress has all the flowers. But then I found an apple and a watermelon. One's a cherry. Well, there's a couple of cherries, actually, I think that I put on here. But they have short little stems, so they kind of look like apples, too. I found a little butterfly and a snail and another flower. The tag that I chose has a little kitty cat on it. I thought that one was super cute. And I'm going to also have my title resting right on that tag because Jessica's title was on her cut apart. And since I used 2 tags instead of a cut apart and a tag, I thought that would be a good place for my title. Just adding a little bit of foam tape behind a few of the embellishments. So the apple and the watermelon, the cherries get popped up, and my butterfly wings, of course, get popped up. On the flowers, I popped up part of it and left part of them flat so they could kind of tuck in behind the photos. I like doing that. And I've got everything stuck down. I didn't make you watch all of that. I found some twine from the twinery from way, way, way back in the day. I don't even know how old it is. I doubled it up and then I didn't tie it. I didn't really, just kind of looped it through the holes and then just left it willy-nilly like that. And I am going to glue it down because I want it to look willy-nilly, but I do want it to stay where I want it to stay. So fuss around with getting it just how I like it there. And then start gluing it down. Yeah, I did do that on screen as well. I used the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and it's in that little precision press there. Still trying to get that loop just how I want it. I didn't want it to loop over the white tag because I am going to have my title and journaling on that. My daughter's going to do the journaling. I texted her while I was working on it and asked her if this title was okay, and she said yes. The title is going to say "An apple for the teacher," dot dot dot. Oops. And I thought that kind of was appropriate for this. And the biggest smiles were definitely, when she accidentally ate the apple. So I thought that was awfully cute, and it needed to be the title of this and not just preschool, since it's not really preschool and she will probably get to go to preschool. I didn't want it to be all about that, but I thought this was cute and kind of tells a story, and then Mariah can finish up with her journaling. So my title is going to consist of these little pink ones from the You Are My Sunshine collection, and then I'm going to add the oops in black just to make it stand out even more. And that is about it. Jessica, I hope you had a fantastic birthday. I didn't want to skip this, even though I knew my computer wasn't working. So I definitely wanted to do that because I think we should celebrate each of the birthdays. And she's on the on the Scraplift Crafternoon team. So I definitely didn't want to miss out on celebrating her and doing a scrap lift. So sorry it's late, but I tried. And then also the fussy cutting for Scraptember. I didn't do a lot of fussy cutting. The tags were on a piece of paper, and I cut those out. I showed you the paper in the beginning, and then the scallop border was also fussy cut. So that is what I have today. I hope to be back again with a new creation that's actually on time very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.